Welcome back to Level 6 Math. I'm Mr. C with our Saxon Math Lesson 67 today. We're going to use prime factorization to reduce fractions. So if you remember a few lessons ago, we learned how to do prime factorization using the stacking method or using factor trees. Today we're going to use that, so we're building on that to reduce our fractions. These are going to be big fractions that we can't just use mental math for, and so this is a way to simplify that to make the process easier for you. This is a cool lesson. All right. So one way to reduce fractions with large terms is to factor the terms and then reduce the common factor. So in 125 over 1,000, we can begin by writing the prime factorizations of 125. Now the way we do that, you probably don't know just off the top of your head that 5 times 5 times 5 equals 125. So we're going to make a factor table or use stacking to do that. So if we start with 125 and we think what's a factor of 125? 5 is, we see that it ends with a 5, so we can go 5 goes into 12 2 times, that gives us 10 with a remainder of 25, 5 goes into 25 5 times, so now we have 25, a factor of 25 is 5, and now we have our factors, 5 times 5 times 5, that's what they got right there. We can do the same thing to find the factors for the bottom. Now here's the cool thing, once you have all your prime factors listed out like this, then we can just cancel them out because 5 over 5 is 1, right? And so we can just cross out 5 over 5, 5 over 5, 5 over 5, and all we're left with is then 1 times 1 times 1, which is 1, times 2 times 2 times 2 times 1 times 1. So all the ones you can just ignore, and we're just going to have 1 on top, and 2 times 2 times 2, 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8. So we're going to reduce this fraction from above down to 1/8. So we're just using our prime factorization to do that. We can do that with the stacking method I just did, or we can use a factor tree. I'll do that on the next one. So if we take 375, and we want to do a factor tree on that one, actually I'm not going to do a factor tree on this one because I can't think what are two numbers that naturally go into 375. I can do 5, but then I'm going to have to stack for that anyways. So I'm going to go ahead, again I see that there's a 5 in it. Because it's an odd number. So I'm going to go 5 goes into 37 7 times with a remainder of 25, so that'll be 5 and no remainder. So now we've got 75, right? Now the math gets easier. 5 goes into 75 how many times? Because again, we have 5 as a factor of 75. 5 goes into 7 one time with 5, remainder of 2 and a 5, and that will be 5 again. Now we have what goes into 15? We could do 5 again with a factor of 3. So now we have our factors for the top, 3 times 5 times 5 times 5. For the bottom, we'll do the same thing, 1,000. Now on that one, I can't just do a factor tree because I can think of numbers that go into 1,000. 2 times 500. And so now that's a prime factor. 500 is 2 times 250. So now we have another prime factor. 250 is 125. Times 2, so now we've got another one, and then 125 is 25 times 5, so that's a 5, and then 25 is 5 times 5, so those are mine. So now we've got 2, 2, 2, 5, and 5, so I'll just do 2, 2, 2, 5, and 5, and then we'll just cross them out. What are the ones that equal 1? Cross that out, and then the rest are left, so we just do 3 times 5 is 15, 2 times 2 times 2, 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. That's not right, because the top number should be smaller than the bottom number. What did I mess up on? 5 times 5 times 5 times 3. Here we have 2 times 2 times 2 times 5. Oh, I'm missing one 5, that's why. So I should have a 5 left. So on the bottom, 8 times 5 is 40. Oh, so we're going to have more that cross out. Whew, good thing we checked our work. All right, so we can cross that 5 out and that 5 out. So all we have left is 3 over 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8, 3/8. Whew, that's more like it. And again, does 3/8 seem about the same ratio as 3 over 10? Yeah, it's pretty close. So that's reasonable. As I erase this, let me put up what they put. So factorization, we put out all the factors. They got the 3 times 5 times 5 times 5 like I did. 2 times 2 times 2 times 5 times 5 times 5. They got that last 5. And once they reduced all those, they get 3 times or 3 over 8. So it checks out. We reduce the common factors and multiply the remaining factors. We did it. That's it. That's the whole lesson. This is just practice with our factor trees again and our stacking. So this is going to be really good for you to do that and then to be able to reduce those big fractions. So this will make your life a lot easier. Good luck with it. Bye-bye.